up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. I'm holding it down in the shed today on this beautiful fall day. I'm trying to get a video in despite trains, lawnmowers, and children. Hopefully they're all quiet enough that I can get this in. I know we're probably getting tired of watching me do fest beers and Marzens, but I can't help it. They're my favorites. But I did think maybe I would break it up a little bit. I still have a few in the fridge I need to get through, including a couple Pete sent me. But I was going through the grocery store today and I saw this, and I thought I got to give it a shot. This is a double chocolate stout from Young's, and this is, I guess, now owned by the Eagle Brewery out of Bedford, England. Young's is a brewery that I'm quite familiar with. When I was in college in the 90s, I went over to England to visit my family, and there was a pub there in Richmond called the Old Ship. I believe at that point it was a Young's brewery. I think it still is. But we went in there and had some beers, and the owner was kind enough to gift me with a Young's tie. I'll throw a photo of it down in the corner. I've had this tie since the 90s. I don't think I've ever worn it. It's a bit on the thin side. Those thin, narrow ties aren't exactly very stylish nowadays. But I still have it. I thought it was pretty cool, and it's a neat piece of, I guess, brewery history. I think at the time he told me you had to visit so many breweries and they would give it to you. But I'm guessing because we spent a couple bucks, he just let me have it, which was quite cool. Also quite cool, the cap on this, or the crown, as my friends would call it overseas. The other day, Dom was mentioning that he wanted to see some more of the caps or the crowns, so I'll throw this one out. Although this is an English beer, he's probably seen it already. The other cool thing I think about this bottle is the label is quite interesting. It says, London will always be Young's. And if you look in the background, you see the ram, and then kind of the British skyline, or the London skyline, sorry. Quite interesting. This does quite well if you look at the ratings. 5.2% ABV, 25 IBUs, 3.68 on Untapped, 4.05 on Beer Advocate, with an aggregate score of 90, or outstanding. So it sounds like it should be a solid brew. Now, here's the only thing that might concern me. I did see this is released in a can with the widget. Usually if you pour anything out of the can with the widget, it's much better than the bottled version. So I'm not sure how those scores reflect can versus bottle, but hey, we'll give it a shot. All right, because this is a British beer, and I have to just take the opportunity. I'm using my Ben Franklin glass today. That's right, Winking Patriot, Ben Franklin. Beer is living proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Hey, Ben Franklin was British, right? I try to give us a bit of a hard pour to get some head on. Looks like it's doing all right. Looks like it's doing really well. I was afraid it wouldn't pour well out the bottle. But it looks like I've done and given it a knobhead pour in my fear that it wouldn't pour nicely. So I've done the opposite. I feared it wouldn't pour nicely, and now I've ensured that it doesn't pour nicely. You know what? I don't even care if it has that nice big head on it. This is a nice looking stout. We'll go with it. Color. It's quite dark. I mean, you can't see through it, obviously. Color, I would say dark. If I'm using my SRM chart, I don't know that it's black, but it's pretty darn close. Maybe a 38 or a 39. Head looks nice. Really frothy tan color to it. Now, I probably have 2.5 fingers worth of foam here. But, if I have to have too much head on a beer, stout's not a bad one to have it on. Smell. Smells kind of subtle. I'm surprised. It said double chocolate. I was expecting it to be like a big chocolate punch. You do pick up a little bit of it. You pick up, a bit of maybe dark chocolate kind of smell, but that's about it. It's not super sweet smelling, not super chocolatey. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. It is surprisingly smooth and silky. I was expecting it to be like a fuller, heavier beer, and it's really not. I'd say it's probably medium bodied, but silky smooth. Considering, especially, it comes from a bottle and not from the can with the widget. That really catches me off guard. Taste. You kind of get some dark chocolate. I wouldn't say it's a super sweet chocolate. I think Untapped had this listed as a milk stout, so I was expecting a bit more sweetness. You do get chocolate, but like I said, it's probably more of a dark chocolate than like a milk chocolate or something like that. You get a little bit of the roasted malt. At the end, It almost tastes like you get some coffee at the end as well. Quite a crisp beer for a stout. I know that's an odd word to go with a stout, right? Usually think of that on Heffies or Kolsch's or stuff like that. But I feel like I'm getting that lip smacking thing at the end of this that I usually don't get on stouts, but I'm kind of picking it up here. Quite rich, quite a good beer. Like I said, you pick up the chocolate, you pick up all the flavors you'd expect in a brew like this. Now, the only thing I'd say is this could have been sweeter, more chocolatey, which probably would have put me off a little bit. This is an older brewery from England, so obviously they're probably going to go a little more traditional and not crank it up with tons of lactose and over-the-top stuff like some of the microbreweries might do now. But if we're going with kind of a classic double chocolate stout style, this is a really good beer, and I definitely would have another one. So, double chocolate stout from Young's, now the Eagle Brewery. You will get a big thumbs up. I'd certainly have another one of these. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe or check out my playlists. I have stuff broken down by style, by state in some instances, if I have enough. There's all kinds of different playlists showing you the different things I have. So check those out if you're interested. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you had the double chocolate stout from Young's? If so, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Cheers.